everyone, and welcome to the Snowman portion of January's Canvas and Cookies. We're going to paint the sky, and Andrew is going to help us. He's my assistant. All right, let's get started. So what you're going to do first is take your big brush, and when you take it out of the water, oops, I have to rinse that off. I was getting some white paint there. Make sure you get the water out of the brush. So you want to push it against the side of the cup to get some of the water out, and then tap it gently on your napkin. Okay, kind of sideways. You're never gonna tap it like this, straight up and down. You wanna just gently pull it sideways to get some of that water out. Okay, we're gonna start with light blue. So you're gonna take a scoop of white and about a half scoop of blue. And you're gonna mix those together in a small circle. You just want a light blue for the sky. If your blue is turning out darker than you want, you can add some more white. And if it's too light, just add a little bit more blue. Now you can use your big brush to put this color on your canvas. Okay, don't worry about the top of the hat. We're gonna put that on later. You can also use your little brush to outline if you wanna do that. That's totally fine. You could outline the snowman first and then fill in. But basically you're gonna put this blue all around the snowman, leaving that left edge, this green edge open. There's a little bit of blue though right next to the edge. So come all the way around the snowman. If you get a little blue in that left edge, that's okay. The green should cover that up. And again, if you want to use your little brush to get in any of these small areas, you can switch to that little brush any time. I'm going to come straight up that edge so I know where it starts and stops, and then fill in the blue. Take your time on this, guys. There's no reason to rush. All right, we're good? Andrew, how are you doing on the blue? Good?
Good.
All right. Now, you don't need to rinse your brush at this point because we're making green. And what two colors make green, Andrew?
Blue and yellow.
Absolutely. All right, so we already have the light blue, right? That's a lot though, so you may not want all that. I'm gonna take a little bit of that off to the side depending on how much you mixed, and I'm going to add a scoop of yellow. And it should give you a nice light green color. If it's too washed out for you, go ahead and add yellow and a little bit of blue. That's completely fine. If it's not bright enough, because we had too much white in there for the sky, you can always add some more of the main colors, the blue and the yellow. I'm happy with this green, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that. I just wanna make sure it's all mixed up so I don't have just straight blue on my brush. And I'm gonna go straight from top to bottom. So I'm just gonna pull top to bottom from the edge, top to bottom, and then one more time. So it's about 2 brush strokes, depending on how hard you press. You can see my bristles are spreading out. You might even be able to do this in 1, depending on how wide your bristles go. All right, I picked up a little blue there at the bottom, so I'm just gonna come back with some more of that green and go straight from top to bottom. I'm coming up here just because I have all this dried paint at the bottom, but basically you can just keep going from top to bottom. All right. And even at this point, if you thought that your green was too light, you can see my green is a lot lighter than this. So if I wanted to darken it up, it's still wet. I could still add some blue. If you think it's too light, just add some blue to your green, and you could still add it right on top. This is also going to be the color of the button, so you want to be happy with it. I'm just going to add a little bit of this in. It's just going to darken it up. It is mixing with the lighter color underneath, but I'm good with that. Okay, then we're going to rinse our brush really well because we're going to fill in the snowman, and he's completely white, so we want to make sure our brush is completely clean before we go into our white. So when you're rinsing, you want to touch the bottom of the cup and stir. That's going to open up the bristles and get all the paint out of your brush. Give it a nice stir here because we want it totally clean. Okay, totally clean. All right, then when I come up, I'm gonna get some of that water out. You can see my water's green right now, that's fine. As long as I get the water out of my brush, I shouldn't have any green in there. You can see it's clear when I touch the brush to the napkin. All right, so straight white. Again, if you wanna use your little brush, that's fine, but I'm just gonna use my big brush in the white, and I'm gonna fill in his whole body. Now, I know your canvas is white, but you can probably even see on the screen, you definitely can see where you are when you're painting that this is a little bit brighter than the canvas. So that's why we're filling this in. We don't really, bless you, we don't really wanna let the canvas be open. So even though it's white and our canvas is white, we're still gonna paint it because that's gonna make it look a little bit brighter and it looks nicer. Watch when you get towards the edge that you don't pick up any of that blue. I'm gonna get a little more white on my brush. So you're doing his body and his face. Nothing in the hat at this point. Just the face, the full face. Don't worry about drawing his face on yet. We're filling in the full head and his body. I'm gonna pick that up just to get the bottom there. So I have to get right here, right up against the scarf and over on this side. So there is a little bit of his body on the left-hand side there. Do you see that, Andrew? Did you see that part right here? Did you get that? You might want to use your little brush for it, but there's a little bit of white on the other side of the scarf there. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so you don't need to rinse your brush yet because we can have white in our brush. If you want a bright orange though, you can rinse, but I'm gonna take a big scoop of yellow and I'm gonna take a little bit of red, so like maybe a quarter scoop of red to get a nice orange. Now I'm using orange for his hat and the scarf. You don't need to use that color. If you wanna give him a purple, you're gonna mix red and blue. If you want to do some green, that was yellow and blue. So you don't have to do orange. You could actually give him a yellow hat or a pink hat. If you want a pink hat, it's white and red. So this is totally up to you, but I'm doing orange. You got your orange, Andrew? Okay, good, that's a great orange. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put it in his hat. And again, if you wanna use your little brush, that's fine. You're gonna come right up to the blue. We are gonna outline it, so if you aren't sort of right up to the edge, that'd be okay because it's gonna have an outline, but you basically wanna come right up to the edge. And because we don't have a lot of white in it, I can still see where the brim of my hat, that part of the hat is gonna be drawn because we are gonna outline that so that we can see a separation between this brim right here and the top part of the hat. So go ahead and fill in the hat, and then you're also gonna fill in the scarf, same color, okay? And again, if you wanna use your little brush, that is good. You can use your big brush by turning it. You get a lot thinner line when it's perpendicular to the canvas. See that? If I put it parallel to the canvas, then I'm getting a thicker line because the entire brush is getting pulled from left to right. All right. I'm gonna pick that up just a little bit so that I can get the bottom part of the scarf. Did you fill in your scarf, Andrew?
Not yet.
Okay, go ahead. All right, we gotta let that guy dry a little bit. So you're filling in the scarf and the hat. And if you need two coats, if that looks a little streaky, you can either add a little bit of white to it, that helps with the streakiness, or you can wait till it dries and just add a second coat. That'll make it look a little bit brighter and a little bit darker and less streaky. All right, I'm going to rinse my brush, and I'm gonna go back to the little brush because I'm gonna go ahead and put those buttons on. All right, let's take our green. Whatever green you ended up with on the left-hand side, that's the color you want the buttons. And this is just to keep using the same colors throughout the painting so that it helps move the eye around the painting. So I'm gonna take that final green that I mixed, and I'm gonna make 2 buttons. If you wanna make 3, that's fine, just make them a little bit smaller. But if you're right in the center of the snowman, now he's kinda tilted to the side, so I'm gonna make 1 button, And you can see I'm picking up a little of the white because my snowman's not dry. You have to be patient and wait for your snowman to dry. All right, and then right underneath, I'm gonna make a second circle. And again, I'm just putting you can draw the circle and fill it in. I'm just putting my brush down and I'm rotating it in a circle until I get the size button that I want. Okay? If one gets too big, you could increase the size of the other. All right? So you got 2 circular buttons. Now, if you wanted coal for the buttons, you could make little squares of black and just round out the edges, and that kind of looks like coal. So you could do that. I'm gonna rinse my brush now. Are we ready to put the face on?
Yes.
All right.
Actually,
All right, so I'm going to put my little brush, clean little brush, straight in the black, but I want it dry because I don't want any black tears coming down my snowman, okay? So I wanna make sure he's dry. Just straight in the black. Actually, you know what? I think we can use the back of our brush for this because those little dots are pretty small. So you can draw them with the little brush if you want to. I'm just gonna take the big brush and I'm gonna use the back of the brush as a stamper. I'm gonna dip it in the black, and right in the center, I'm gonna give him 2 eyes. So 1, and if you wanna make them a little bit bigger, you can just rotate that around in a circle until you're happy with the size. I'm gonna re-dip and make the other eye. All right, start small. Always start small. You can always get larger, okay? And then right under the eyes, you know, obviously the nose will be in the middle there. I'm just gonna do a smile. So 1, 2, 3. I need to re-dip because I'm getting smaller here. 4, 5, 6. I got 6 dots there. You might have more or less than that, completely fine. If you want to use the little brush so that they're a little bit smaller, you could also do that, okay? Now remember to wipe that off the back of your brush so that you don't get a handful of black. So I'm gonna wipe that off. Did you give him a crazy face?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Oh boy. Okay, that's cool, that's cool. All right. And back to our little brush. Before we change the color of the orange, I'm gonna use that orange and I'm going to draw a circle in the middle. Now guess what? If you wanna draw a carrot nose, you can. I'm gonna show you that too. So if you were doing this, you just do a circle, rotate the brush around in a circle or draw a circle and fill it in. If you wanna draw a carrot nose, you're gonna put a little parenthesis and then you're gonna draw a triangle coming out and fill that in. Okay, it's not real big because his head isn't super large. I'm gonna get a little more of the orange on my brush and fill that in. So that's how I draw my carrot nose. I do a parenthesis and then a triangle coming out. So he has a carrot nose. Okay, for the outline of the hat, as well as the decoration, we're gonna add a little more yellow to our orange. So this is still kind of an orange color, but it's lighter, so it has more yellow and more white in it, okay? And that's the outline. If you want to outline with a different color orange, that's totally fine.
I don't outline.
You don't want to outline your hat?
I don't.
I think you need to outline it in some color. It doesn't have to be orange. I'm gonna take a little scoop of my orange.
When I outline, it makes it worse, so that's why I don't like outlining.
Okay, well you can wait. Maybe you want to wait a little bit.
Okay.
All right, so I just added a scoop of yellow with my little brush, by the way, because we don't need a ton of this. It's just an outline color. So it's a scoop of yellow, a scoop of white added to a scoop of that orange that I already had. If your orange is pretty light, maybe you want to go the other direction and make it darker by adding some more red, okay? But I'm going to add this orange as an outline to my hat. So first of all, I'm just going to go around the whole outside of the hat. And if some of it blends in with your orange color, that's okay. These are the same basic colors. We did yellow plus red plus white for both of these, so it's really fine. It's not gonna blend into something that's ugly. like if you were gonna do brown. If you added some blue to it or something, you might get a brown. That's not gonna happen because all we did was add a little bit more of the colors we already mixed, that yellow and white, okay? All right, and then the start of the hat up here, we're just gonna do crisscross. You can come out from the center, kind of if you were doing like from the center point out, you can do that. And we're gonna add a little white and yellow into that while it's still wet. I'm just gonna do a couple stripes in the hat right now. Okay, and then I don't need to rinse. I'm just gonna use my yellow and white straight, and I'm gonna add in some more stripes. See how it's all kind of blending? You can actually put it on the wet that you just added. We're just putting lots of different stripes, and then you can dip right into the white and add those too. Some of it's gonna blend and some of it's gonna just sit right on top and look very white. If you don't like that, just run your brush over it and it'll keep blending in. Okay, I'm gonna put some of these down here. So there's vertical up and down when you're going across the neck, and when you're going down this part of the scarf here, it's gonna be horizontal lines. So 1, 2, this is straight yellow. But because I have the white in my brush, it's kind of like a light yellow color. So I've got some white, got some yellow, and it kind of just looks neat. Those are just the colors that we mixed to get the orange. If you want to put polka dots on a scarf, you could do that. All right, and then I'm going to take that light orange. Actually, wait a sec. I want to add some yellow up here too. Add some yellow into my poof here. Again, guys, I'm just using straight yellow. I haven't rinsed my brush, so it does have some orange in it too, but I've got straight yellow. And I'm just pulling that from the center out. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of white on my brush and do the same thing, center out. And it looks really cool. All right, so let's take that mixed orange, that light orange, and we're going to finish outlining. We're going to outline that scarf now. Okay, so you've got kind of a curved line. And guys, you can see in this picture, it's a little bit wiggly. So it doesn't have to be a super straight line, okay? If it gets thicker in parts, that's fine too. This is just some detail. It doesn't have to be real exact. If you even wanna make it a little wavy, that's fine. It kind of looks fun. All right, so I've got that outline on there. Mine's a little bit darker. This one has a little bit more yellow in it. If you wanted to add some more yellow straight into it, you can. So if I just want to put some yellow straight in, that's gonna work. All right, we've got 2 more steps. One, we're gonna put that white squiggle in the green, and then we're gonna add some snowflakes. Okay. Okay, so let's turn our brush around. We've got the back of the little brush, and we're gonna do little snowflakes. So 1, 2, don't go crazy with it. After about 2, maybe 3, depending on how much paint you have on there, re-dip in your white, and you're just gonna touch the blue background and give them some snow. And then also for the buttons, same thing. This is gonna be 4 little touches. So you're gonna do, it's just in a square. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the buttonholes. I need a little more paint on that last one. Okay, and then re-dip. Same thing on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, those are the buttonholes. 4 little buttonholes on each button, okay? And then our last thing is the squiggle. Now, I need to rinse my brush because I have orange in it. Then I'm gonna get white. This is just loop-de-loop. You might wanna practice on your plate first. Okay, I'm gonna get white on my brush. I'm gonna start at the top, and I'm just gonna pull those loops all the way down. Now, am I gonna get all the way through with one dip of paint? Probably not. So at some point, I'm gonna need a re-dip, but I'm just gonna loop, loop. Okay, I'm running out of paint, so I'm just gonna grab some more. If you don't love the loops, you could put polka dots in that. Or you could put snowflakes, like the kind we draw, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. We just drew them. You could put snowflakes in here. You just need some kind of decor in this. You could actually write your name. I've seen people write their name. Also, guys, if it helps you, if you know cursive and you just want to think of these as little cursive E's, you can change the orientation or turn your canvas so that it's sitting in a different way. Okay? You don't have to keep it right side up. So whatever you want to put in there, that's going to finish it off. And then just kind of take a step back. If you need a little white anywhere, little highlights, you can add to it now. All right, thank you very much for painting the snowman with us. I hope you had fun. And now it's time for your cookies, so get some fresh water. Thanks, Andrew, for helping me out today.